So in this video, we'll look at 3 simple patterns of reactivity. Make sure you have your notebook, pencil, and perhaps a periodic table, and then write down the title here in your notebook, put it into your table of contents. So in this video, we'll look at 3 types of chemical reactions. In Chapter 4, we'll actually look at 3 broad categories that include these, and then we'll encompass more as we go along in the course. But the first that we're going to look at today is called combination. Combination reaction has 2 other names, just to be confusing. One is called composition, and the other one is called synthesis. They all mean the same thing: combination, composition, or synthesis. Here's an example of a combination or synthesis reaction. Take magnesium, combine it with oxygen, and it makes magnesium oxide. Notice I needed a 2 in front of there to balance the chemical reaction. But notice how there are 2 items, or 2 species, and they come together to make 1. And that's the simple pattern to this reactivity, is that there are 2 things, or it could be more, and they come together and just make 1. It's called a combination or composition or synthesis reaction. The second type of reaction is the backwards. It's called a decomposition reaction. And in a decomposition reaction, it's the opposite. It's where one thing breaks apart into 2 or more. So here's an example, taking potassium chlorate and breaking it up into potassium chloride and oxygen gas. Notice I needed a 2, and a 3 right here to make a balanced chemical equation. And you'll also see that the symbol for heat is used in this example right here. And actually that's what happens to potassium chlorate as well. So a decomposition reaction follows this pattern. We have one substance and it breaks up into 2 or more. So 2 types of the 3, combination and decomposition. The third type is called combustion, and a combustion reaction is a rapid reaction that produces a flame. It very often, almost always uses or is combined with oxygen. That's why things burn well in air, because air contains oxygen. And the ones we'll look at specifically are ones that are hydrocarbons that are combusted. Hydrocarbons are substances that contain an amount of carbon and an amount of hydrogen. Now sometimes they even contain a little bit of oxygen as well. But the general pattern for this reactivity is that we have a hydrogen carbon containing substance and we react it with oxygen. Remember, oxygen is diatomic. It always exists in a pair, so it reacts with O2. And then it always produces carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide and water, HOH or H2O. Those are the 2 products of hydrocarbon combustion. So to balance this equation, of course, we'd have to take an atom inventory, and we'd end up with a 3 here for the carbons. I believe we'd need a 4 here for the hydrogens, and then we'd notice we have 3 times 2 or 6 plus 4 is 10, and we need a 5 here for oxygens. But writing and balancing a chemical reaction that's a combustion reaction can actually be pretty easy if you know that something that's got carbon and something that's got hydrogen, when reacted with oxygen, always makes water and carbon dioxide. So for you to do, lots of reactions you'll see are written in the form of words. You'll have to take those words, put them into symbol form, and then when you put them into symbol form, then you'll have to balance the chemical reaction. And sometimes identify the type, since you know 3 types right now, of chemical process or pattern in reactivity that occurs. Good luck with your reactions.